We are live. Let me refresh this thing. Make sure you can see us. Make sure you can hear us. Fix this a little bit. Nothing yet. YouTube a
Okay.
little slow.
Good, good.
And looks like we're good. B, what's up?
Yo, what's up? It's Monday again.
It's
It's
Monday.
um what day is today? 27. So it's been almost a month, right?
Yes, sir.
Since Nike shut down on us. So
Since Nike shut down, that was like their main thing to look at. We're like counting down the days. And
yeah.
let's see who's here. Nick, Jaden, Deviser, Edgar, Mr. Eric, Texas Pete, Kicks for the Soul, Sal, Zombries, Mary and True Win, Mercurial Venom, Patrick, Andrew, and Sneaker Finds 12, Connor, Chris, Maximo again. And people are saying anyone's stores open up yet? I don't believe so. And I think the closest one would have to be Jake since he's in Georgia. They're kind of like
Yeah.
testing things out in Tennessee, but
And I
as
think
far as I heard
Florida
of, nothing.
Florida is too. I'm not sure. I think just their beaches. You're right. Yeah, I think Jake's the closest one.
David, Jay's Closet, the man at Mr. Information in Hand, also here. Man, so Mimi Tell. So today is going to be, I want to talk about, we're going to throw anybody on that wants to talk, but I want to talk to B about 5 things that I think are going to change and you should keep in mind of when it comes to strategies while sourcing. And once we get this thing on the road, because we're looking at the timetable, people may be having stores open the 14th, maybe the 17th. I know Texas, they're trying to get things going. I think the governor was on today going live. So I don't know what it's going to look like. But if stores are open on the 17th, what can we expect? And I almost feel like this is kind of planning for like a Super Bowl type of thing. The reason why is because you can weigh out all the options, which we're going to do today. Weigh out options, talk about things we can do, maybe be prepared for. But once you're actually in the game, can you make those adjustments? And that's what I feel is going to happen. Like once they open up and you're actually thrown out there in the wild, you got capital, you can do the research. Are you going to source or not? What kind of adjustments you're going to make business wise?
So talking about a sports analogy, I think we're about to come out of our halftime locker room meeting or
And then a long halftime show.
right. So it's been like the longest halftime show ever, but consider the first half. Uh, I would say would be your first half of your reselling career or your hustle career, and we went into this halftime show, and then now here we go. We're about to go out back in the court and do the same thing or do something so different.
And that's what I feel. It's also the same analogy I would say for being married and or having a kid. You can prepare all you want. You can come up with ideas. It's good to come up with ideas and be ready. But once it actually happens, are you ready? Are you truly ready? And can you make the adjustments going forward? Now, there's my boy Will, $4.99. Everyone drop some money for consistent content from Hustler Hacks and B. Thank you for that, Will. $5 in the super chat. So thanks for that. Let me see what's going on here. Halftime, as long as Shakira is there. Kicks for Soul. Hey B, what's today's snack?
Oh, nothing yet.
It
Nothing.
doesn't have anything yet.
Drinking coffee.
Oh man, Mr. Eric just had UNC to Chicago canceled on East Bay. Milko, what's up? David, worst halftime show ever in this quarantine. Connor, and all retail stores set to open May 1st in Texas. That's from Connor. And Chris, let's see, the plan goes out the window once you get punched in the face. Mike Tyson. I do agree on that one as well.
That's true.
So let's say Texas does open on May 1st. What kind of adjustments can we see? So here's 5 of them we're going to go through. I want to get input from the chat. I want to get input from you and see what you believe as well. So the first one I would say is timing. Now, there's different factors into this. Let's take Ross, for example. Let's say timing. Do you believe they will still be open past midnight, 1 a.m.? We have stores that close,
Right.
11, 12, 1 a.m. Will that still happen? Someone's calling me. Decline. So that one's the first thing about timing. And people, let's say, trying to go store opening or store closing, or try to go when it's least packed, or maybe when they're
Right.
restocking. Now, will that also come into consideration? Are you trying to go when stores are going to be the least packed possible because you don't want to deal with people?
Right.
Maybe it could be you, someone else, like, it's crowd's kind of long. You don't want to wait. Imagine a long ass Ross line, you
6
know,
feet apart.
yeah, like they're gonna run out of floor space when that happens. So
Right.
I'd say, what do you think about first off the cutting hours? Will that happen? And then store like different times to go, different timing.
I think definitely it's going to be a big adjustment as far as time will concerned. I say yes on the store being shortened just in this few maybe weeks or months as we start back open, because we have to consider that they have to get everything in order too. They might have lost employees here and there. They might have to do rehiring and stuff like that. So all that back end work, has got to be put in place before anything else. So I think that's one of the biggest thing that we don't really see. What's the back end? How's the manager? How's everything going there? And then now they gotta get back to their regular shipments or stuff like that. Talk about timing. Definitely, I want to be there with the least possible people, but if you're jumping from store to store at this point, you can't really be at all stores this early, right? And also too is you have to, I think, scratch over, because we have stores that we kind of know when they restock, right?
Yeah.
So now with things being mixed up, we probably won't know when they restock. Who knows? They're gonna restock when the store close,
Yeah,
right?
that's the one thing I was considering. They might just switch. Maybe
Right.
they're used to, restocking at a certain time, 10 a.m. or maybe
Right.
even 1 p.m.
Mhm.
Now, like you said, maybe just overnight from here on out.
So that's definitely gonna be something that's different. Um, uh, for sure. I mean, there's a big debate, right? Whether it's that infectious or if it's that deadly. Um, at this point, just far as timing stuff, I probably won't be the first one to be out there to be so confident and just risking everything, because at the end of the day, if you're looking at the bigger picture, like being at the store early or getting inventory a month ahead of everybody else, I don't think it's gonna be significantly a very high reward compared to the high risk of me or my wife getting sick. So I think it's gonna be a slow, gradual process getting back in the groove of things as far as timing is concerned.
And let me see what the chat says. So, talking about timing, as soon as Glenn phone rings, Dolphins doing big things. Yes, sir. Let's see. Do you believe? Let me go back. Maybe more self checkouts. I think that was kind of their plan to begin with,
Right.
and that's why Walmart, Target, they kind of implemented those things first. Now,
Hmm.
Target, Marshalls, Burlington. I mean, Ross, Marshalls,
Yeah.
Burlington. I don't
Yeah.
see it. Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to take some time to really kind of build those things and implement them into their business. But that would definitely be something that they would probably consider now that this has happened. We
Mhm.
just don't know how long it would take to get that going.
Right.
South Beach Sneaker Finder says they will start off slow and fewer hours, just like they were going out for Corona. I do agree on that. So we saw them cut hours. I think they might cut even more. I think they still closed. Ross might have closed at 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. I don't remember on
Mhm.
what they decided on, but I could definitely see them, sticking to those hours first, gradually making their way, assuming things do get better. Restocking overnight for store opening, cleaning goes on after they close, and I think that they're going to try to keep, all the employees kind of at the same pace and not really have maybe not as many shifts when it comes to
Right.
restocking,
Mhm.
to maybe kind of limit, and also see what kind of employees are back or not. We also talked about people that do have kind of like their little hookup,
Mhm.
Ross employees hooking them up with things. Are they even going to be back, or maybe they got a different job?
Yeah, because a lot of the discount retailers, they got furloughed, so I don't know what's the process of getting them back, but also too, I kind of lost it. I
Yeah,
had
it's all
it.
right. It's gonna come back
Yeah,
to you.
it's
But
gonna
Mr.
come back.
Eric says, local company down here in California sells to Ross, but Ross actually canceled any pending orders with this company, and that kind of goes back to the what was
Yeah,
the article we saw like a month ago?
yeah,
Yeah, saying that they canceled whatever else was coming in. I know we were kind of like everyone's kind of like, oh, what does this mean? What's
yeah.
going on? And we're like, stores may not even open in the
Right,
next
right,
week,
right.
so we shouldn't even be worrying about
Oh,
that yet.
I got it. I got it. I got it.
Okay.
I gotta say. So, I guess because what I was gonna say is, as far as store capacity, it's been announced here in Ohio that um, the retailer stores are slowly gonna get back. They're gonna start opening on the 12th. So not quite, so it's mid-May. But they said mask required, but the biggest thing that I got there was minimum of 50% only people allowed from their fire code.
Mhm.
So they're definitely going to be limiting people there. And even in the service manuals that they've put out, even employees got to keep that 6 feet distance apart.
Okay, so that definitely makes sense. And same thing, Kicks for Soul says Abbott, so the governor of Texas, said stores will operate at 25%. Now,
Mhm.
you were saying with the store limit, which leads me to the second one, which would be shopping and or employee safety.
Mhm.
So when it comes to this, I'm thinking you said it. How many shoppers and employees inside at once? How many people in the store at once? Now let's talk about building a line. Like today at Walmart, when I got groceries, I left those a line so many people can go in the store at once.
Mhm.
Now a line, Burlington, Marshalls, Ross
Right.
outside the door to get in. Oh man, this already sounds bad, I guess, thinking about maybe how many families and all that go in, but I would think the weekend will definitely be worse. If you go
Right.
in during the week, you're a full-time seller, I think
I
it's
think
gonna
it'd be
be
the
pretty
same.
dry
Right.
for a while. Like I don't think you're gonna have that many people going out
Right.
there and like you said, risking it all to,
Mhm.
like go to these stores
Mhm.
yet. So what do you
Um,
think about
I think, well, as far as capacity, right? We never really seen this discount retailers get packed besides holidays and like you said on the weekend. So I think those are just the things that they have to create, like a line. Like, are they gonna have to put X marks outside the door? Who controls the line? Who goes in or what? Who counts, right? So there's probably gonna be assigned person for that, just for safety and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Um, and yes, uh, mask is going to be a requirement for everybody. So they said no mask, no entry, no service. So clients with and customers and employees gotta wear a mask. Um, I think that's a really good way to start. And like you said, even at your area in El Paso, no mask would equivalent to fine. I think that's a pretty good kind of like law that they've instated there.
Yeah, so that one is in effect. They started that one I think 2 days ago. So people have been wearing the masks everywhere. Let me go back to the chat. Chris said, I like the mask requirement. Did you look for dumbbells at Walmart? Yes, dumbbells are gone. I did find a Nintendo Switch one, so I will list that, but I didn't find any dumbbells. How can you do social distancing at Ross? It isn't a realistic thing, to be honest. Smooth sailing, which I do agree.
Right.
And one of the articles said about keeping the safety for the customers would be like widening how much room
Oh,
is between the racks at Ross. And I have some, little racks that
right.
like,
You
and
can
people will
barely fit.
bombard you in.
Right.
You're literally stuck in the middle looking at clothes. There's a dude in the end and like a, I don't know, huge dude at the very end. Like there's
Mhm.
no way you're gonna get around him. I
Right.
hate when I'm in that situation.
Mhm.
And so I think they're trying to eliminate that to where you could probably only go to into the clothing aisle one way, and
Mhm.
then you can only exit one way, and they're wider, I think.
Also, I think with regards to that, I think um, we have to um, be in a speed mode on this one, or as cars would have a sport mode, we can be on the comfort mode because before we just walk in there, just take our time, right? Although we're in a hurry, but we get distracted, a lot of times. Like I don't know if we're gonna talk about sourcing strategy later, but but
Hmm.
I'm probably gonna be more focused on certain departments than not.
Okay, that also leads to my last one, which we're going to talk about that. Maybe clothing, shoes, and going around to different things to source. Going back to the safety thing, you mentioned that going on speed mode. In my mind, YouTube wise, I'm like, can I record with the mask on? Because my voice comes out. I'm like, how does that sound? It's gonna be muffed. Number two, I can't really go in sport mode because I take my time to record right. So that's gonna be very interesting, I guess, for that point of view. But I
Mhm.
can see maybe if you're trying to take in and out trips, kind of go quickly, source quickly. You
Mhm.
also don't want to not pick up things or maybe miss things
Right,
because you're going so quick.
right,
So I think that's going to be interesting for the safety part of it. And maybe also depends on the person, people are kind of, so I saw like a first, like handshake type of thing. And it was very weird. So it was kind of like some people don't want to shake anybody's hand anymore.
right, right.
Some people do, some people don't. And it started off as like one person handshake, the other person like a little fist bump, and
Hmm.
then ended up turning into like a fist bump into like a hand grab thing. And more hand ended up being grabbed than
Right,
they initially wanted.
right.
So now it's kind of like a weird thing.
Yeah,
Um,
it has to be at least maximum fist bump at this point.
let's see, if someone starts coughing next to you while sourcing, do you Lysol them? Yes. Open your mouth.
Yeah, my wife actually picked up a few alcohol spray bottles now. So
Mhm.
I think it's a lot. For me, I like it better than the gel. So I think you know what we need to do. Now I just got this. We gotta get those kind of like the fashion vest that people have now.
Okay, fashion vest. Do they have,
Right?
we don't put stuff in like
Yeah,
little, okay.
pockets, stuff like that. Like it came from the tactical,
Hmm.
outfits, right? So we might have to look for those, or some people would get them from Bass Pro Shop, some fishing vest. But I think that would be very handy. Get some wipes here, Lysol wipes, extra mask, or some, pepper spray. In case
Get away from
things
me.
get bad.
You gotta wear the vest over the hazmat suit. You're gonna be double prepared.
Oh man, yeah. I was think because you gotta think, man. If you gotta disinfect every now and then, we might have to wear something kind of like a uniform, just to go outside and just leave it outside the garage or something.
Well, the bad thing is that I mean, here in El Paso, and like let's say you live in Phoenix, it's 120 out there. Are you gonna
Oh,
want to be wearing a vest? You're gonna be wearing all this stuff. I'm pretty sure people want to keep cool. I think it's gonna be a struggle.
oh yeah, that is right. That is right. Phoenix just hit numbers. Three, something like that. This early.
It's gonna be wild. And like Sneaker Finds 12 says, it's gonna be so weird when things get back. Mr. Eric, if I shake hands at work, I'm going straight to the sink. Let's see, shots of Germex. Mask law is violating our rights. That is stupid law, which I do agree on that too. I know they're trying to keep people safe.
Right.
But when you really think about I mean, when you think about the last 2 months and how everything is played out, you
There's no
never thought
law
in your mind
that
you have to wear a mask,
right.
as part of this law, or you're gonna get fined or jail time or something. So yeah, that's a wild thing. Okay, after the safety thing, let's go into pricing. Now, I want to talk about pricing for items and how Ross, Burlington, Marshalls. Personally, I don't believe they will change. I believe all three of those will stick to the prices we've already known. I don't see them, number one, running any deals, any
They're never.
promotions. They know that, like, if you loved Ross before this, you love Ross right now, and you're going to find a way to go. I don't see them. Maybe they'll do more clearance items. I mean, for sure, if it's out of season, we
Marked down.
talked about being Easter stuff. They're definitely going to mark all that stuff down. But shoes, clothing, I don't see them marking them down if there's no need to. They just haven't been open. So it's not like inventory has been sitting there because people are ignoring it. It's just been closed. I mean, nothing they can do.
Um, yeah, I think the only thing that I'm interested as far as pricing will concern would be like the manufacturer clearance stores or outlets, right? We talk about Adidas outlet, Converse Vans outlet, uh, um, that are straight from the manufacturer's Nike outlet. I am very interested in what they are gonna do. Are they gonna treat this like a Black Friday kind of thing and trying to generate some revenue, or not? Because they probably have money, right? Their online store are probably holding them up, and the past month and a half, they're probably running at a lower profit than they used to, or close to no profit. But at the end of the day, if they can break even, they break even, right?
Yeah.
Um because 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 now, once they start opening, I think, in a business standpoint of view, they're gonna think about how to profit. So that would be very interesting, and which is what I'm really eyeing on how they're gonna react as far as pricing, because we all know that we haven't really heard a lot from them.
No,
uh
we haven't heard anything from
Nike,
Nike, any of
Adidas.
that.
I mean, they're even making masks, giving away masks to frontliners. So
Yeah.
I mean, they're spending money. They're definitely not cutting people off. They're paying people. So so that, I think that's a good sign for them as
So going back to what you said, so that was my second point, which talk about Nike and Adidas, Under Armour, all that part of the outlets. Now, Adidas, they did post, or at least I saw some articles today that just came out a couple of hours ago, and saying how Adidas says first quarter profits fell more than 90%
well.
due to Corona store closures.
Hmm.
So, I mean, and here's another one. Adidas misses forecast with 93% profit plunge.
Wow.
That's wild. I mean, so I think Adidas and Nike, I definitely see them running they have to do something to entice you to bring you in. They have to do something to have you, I guess, like you said, risk
Well, the
not getting
crazy
it
part
to go
was,
in.
if you read more into that headline, I think it's what I was talking about. They just lost their profitability, but I don't think they went negative.
No, they didn't go negative,
Right.
but profitability, like you said,
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
So
Um, so let's see. So their expectations, let's see. So reported that it missed its profit expectations by 93% and had a 19% fall in sales in Q1.
mm,
So definitely their numbers are off. I don't really know about Nike though and how they're doing, but
I
without
think
having stores open.
I think Nike did report positive profit.
Oh,
If you
okay.
look into it, I look at their shares, at least their shareholders.
Richard says Under Armour reported no mask in store because nobody comes in anyway. So the Nike, let me see, so Nike outlet, I definitely believe the 30%, all of that kind of stuff, but that leads me into quality of products, which is the third one. And we're talking about, let's say they do have a sale, 30% off, they're trying to bring you into the store.
Hmm.
Now it's like, I would say this, and not just because, of course, I have a channel or whatever, but you can watch, Balling on a Budget. You can watch whoever you want. That also has Nike Outlet videos. I would say before your Nike Outlet opens, do your research to see what other outlets had certain items, because with no one being open, certain Nike outlets had some shoes that have gone up in price because no one is there to fulfill these orders and replenish them. But you don't want to be, don't want to be stuck with items that everybody ended up having by the time you do pick them up, let's say the third day in, and now you're just part of the flood, and the flood just got even worse now because people are still iffy on what to buy and they're letting things go even cheaper. So I would say look to see what other ones are out there. You can even call other outlets if there's a certain shoe that you want or certain shoes that you see.
Yeah, I think that's so true. You hit it right when you said that. Um, like, you had shoes that you didn't think that you were gonna make money on, but I think the comps are kind of skewed right now. I think comps within the last 30 days are not as accurate as what you would see prior to Corona. So, so I think that is something that you have to be aware of, because a lot, you have to think, the last 30 days people had money, right?
Yeah.
The stimulus, unemployment money, even StockX and Goats asking price have gone up. People are paying more. So I think that has to be part of your strategy when you talk about pricing, because it's going to be different, very different.
It's going to be very different in the pricing. Mark says my sales were up 48% on eBay at the same period this time last year.
Mhm.
So you're kind of pulling a hustle bee model right there, being, being up opposite. Mr. Eric, the first couple of weeks, my game plan will be only instant StockX and GOAT flips, which is a very good example too. Something that we talked about yesterday, me and the B after our show, which goes back to number 5 that I have on here. So the thing I want to talk about, looking to see what's out there about the floods and everything. And the second one was the profit margin. So, like Mr. Eric says, looking to see instant flips. How is that going to change? And this is what I think is going to happen, that we are going to see more people trying to sell more volume and taking less money, just because when the economy was good, let's say 3 years ago, you know, Ken's out there building inventory. And let's say you have, 90K on eBay, 100K on eBay of listed inventory. Now, since things are a little uncertain, I think maybe people are trying to get that quicker money,
Mhm.
building up that cash flow, keep that up and keep it going, 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 and not necessarily building up inventory on the back end. Not like, I mean, you still need inventory, but maybe not like overdoing it to where
Not
you
too
have so
far.
much
Yeah,
sitting.
yeah. I think you're not trying to source too far out of your season.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I 100% agree on that one. Um, Mr. Eric, I think that's a great strategy. Just to just get out of this first few weeks. Like Glenn said, there's gonna be a flood of people thinking that this shoe still sells for 160 because it sold last week for 160 when everything was close. So I think that's not going to be a good idea, just basing everything off the last 30 days. I think you have to go further on what it was. Um, and also bringing in the balance, like Mr. Eric again, here, building Q4 inventory. So for me, I agree on that one, but your Q4 inventory, I think, what is that Q4 inventory, right? Me and Glenn discussed it, that what's that target ASP that you're trying to reach now? It's easy to say I want to be at $200, average, right? Spend 100, 120, sell 200, right? Um, I'm realistically, personally thinking about buying things from 50 to 60, selling them for 100 plus shipping. So, your profitability margin right there, we're talking about only 50 to 75% instead of getting the double your money after fees. So, I think that would be my strategy when it comes to sourcing, thinking about short term and thinking about long term as well, but not trying to go overboard in spending too much on a shoe that I'm thinking that's gonna go further. I'm gonna be a little bit more reserved, thinking that I'm gonna be trying to expect worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, how much can I profit off of this thing? If I'm expecting 60, worst case scenario, I can easily get 10% or 20% profit, right? So I can easily get out of it. So I think that would be a, a pretty solid strategy for me. In the next, well, the first month when things start opening back up.
Well, Mr. Eric had a good point on building the Q4 inventory, which is something that me and you talked about yesterday on how Q4 could play out. Now, so yesterday B had this idea, and what you were first saying was that you were thinking that, you know what, by Q4 time, Thanksgiving time, Christmas time, Corona will be done for. Now, that was your first idea. Remember, you're like, I think it's going to be done for. Like, it
Mhm.
won't look back and it's over and done with. Now, they've been telling us we're going to get a second wave. We're going to get hit again. They're going to get hit harder. Now it's going to be double Corona plus flu season and everything else that comes in between. And what would happen for like Black Friday and all of that. So, um, whether it is that serious or not, they obviously have the ability to close stores whenever they want,
Mhm.
just like we clearly have been seeing for the last month. So during that time, it's going to be very interesting having Q4 inventory because of course Christmas time, all that coming up,
Hmm.
and seeing where we're at as a nation and how people are feeling during that time and where it's headed. And you don't want to be at the very end rushing for a bunch of inventory, buying whatever you want, and just hopefully it'll sell in case we never open again. But it also kind of leaves that little iffy part, how where do you want to be as far as cash flow or inventory or having both? It's gonna be weird.
Hmm. I mean, I think one of the things I mentioned yesterday too, when we talked, that I want to share, that I think at this point I am more concerned of um, being more liquid as far as cash flow. I'm thinking about trying to just get ahead of my bills and expenses, right? Worst case scenario, we don't bring in any more inventory or any more sales, or if everything gets, drops. I'm thinking about, easily 3 to 6 months expense plan budget. I think that's uh, very smart thing to do. And I think that's something that me and the wife are gonna get more serious about, because one of the things that we experience during this time is, you know, not minding the sales, right? My sales went up, but not minding that we both have spent less money as far as expense would concern, because entertainment's out of the window, right? Eating outside's out of the window. We've been cooking more. We've been acclimated more on staying home, not trying to buy, shakes here and desserts here and
Ice
there,
cream,
right? Ice cream,
gas is definitely
right?
down.
Like if you think about it, like an ice cream cone, I could buy like a whole tub of it already, you know. And and that's one of the things, realizations that I have, and it's like, I've always had the excuse that I've always had this excuse, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get full of, I'm gonna be bored with the same flavor. And I was like, why just buy more flavors? So right now I have two different kinds of ice cream. I have, Magnum ice cream. I have a boba ice cream. I have a mango ice cream. I have a drumstick. So, and all of that combined is still less than, 4 trips going out and get this stuff. So, so,
Oh man.
I think that's, no Korean barbecues. I think that's well, for me and Glenn, it's still something special because we don't have it in our cities.
Yeah.
So we still only get it like, well, once a month, if that, or twice every week when we're together in a few days. But besides all that, I think financially, I think that's, we should all be in a better uh spending habit, or consciously aware of what we're spending on. And I think like you said, it's a reset. uh and the good thing about reset is we realize things that we've been doing wrong, or we've been doing over, right? Is eating out more gonna help me achieve my goal? And the answer definitely is no. So I gotta cook more. So and which is fine. I've grown to enjoy it. So I think that 3 to 6 months financial budget of just expenses that we need to come up with, I think that would be pretty cool.
And look, no movies. You guys haven't gone a lot of places, you and the wife. Now I'm thinking about, gas is cheaper right now, but I'm thinking about how many trips you're making to different cities, states.
Right.
You've gone to different places. I know you're definitely saving a lot of money
Yeah.
with that right now, so you can have more money to spend.
Hmm.
And here's another thing that you also talked about, which being kind of like in a reset.
Hmm.
Everyone is gonna be, well, beforehand, we always talked about everyone's in different places when it comes to how much capital they have,
Right.
how many expenses they have. Are they full time or are they part time? Every reseller has different, I guess, different things they're into right now, different factors. And one thing that I've noticed is that there's different people right now that are in defense mode, and there's different people that are offensive mode right now.
Hmm.
And as the year goes on, some I think are going to stay in defense mode and might just ride it out for the
Right.
rest of the year or until this thing blows over, then go in full offensive mode. But can they last that long with not, let's say, sourcing as much, maybe not spending as much and bringing more money in? Obviously, your profit margin is going to go down, if you're not sourcing as much. Would you say right now you're defensive mode and then eventually going to offensive mode, or what are you kind of at right
Yeah,
now?
I mean for sure. I mean the first few weeks I was on offense. I was just trying to buy stuff, inventory online here and there, knowing that Nike was only going to be closed for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, right? And then as soon as things got worse, when New York got just worse, and they're talking about May's pretty much a wash. Pretty much the last probably easily 10 days. Uh, I've been on a defense mode. That's why we went into um, double checking our inventory, right? Like, because at the end of the day, like, we're so used to spending money, right, to make money, right? Spend to make. That's kind of like our mentality. But I had to readjust that in a way, like, what can I do to make money without spending money? So then we go back to searching all of our stuff, that as far as business wise that has been unlisted. I had like two PlayStation PS4 remotes that was just sitting because I was wanting to get a PS4 2 years ago. Just didn't happen. Didn't have the time. My wife listed it. Within 3 hours, it sold for $59 plus shipping. You know, and at the end of the day, I could care less how much I paid for it because it was just it's dead inventory anyway. So those were the little things because at that day, if I sold those two controllers, that was my grocery for the week.
Yeah.
Like so now like I'm thinking about that. What can I do? And the other day, my wife gone through her stuff and just thrifted her closet and everything like that. And I sold a jacket that I've never worn that I bought for $50. So I think in a when we talk about defensive mode, I don't want you to think, I don't want anybody to think that you're not trying to make money. Just chill and relax.
Yeah.
Defense means not don't let any resources leak out. And defense is what I think you have to be more resourceful. I think that's a perfect word. If you're in a defensive mode, you have to be resourceful. So try to find a way to bring in more cash or cash flow or sales without having to spend so much. In that way, because you have to think mentally, it's a lot more satisfying and it's a lot more relaxing when you know that you're making money and you're not spending as much too.
All right, which leads me also to I know. Let me see what I'll start reading the comments right now. But one of the things that me and you talked about, at least that we saw in our sales, and the chat will chime in how your sales have been. But I do believe I would see more of an increase. These are things that I've sold with box. I believe I've sold more than without box. Um, Now that would be, Ross, Burlington, things like that. Now, what is the mindset of the customer? Does having complete with box make them feel safer? Maybe they believe that, hey, what happened without the box? Are they pre-owned or something? But maybe it's been different for the people in the chat. You can tell us how you've been doing. But personally, I think in my sales, I've seen a lot more with box, even just offers and people more interested in the shoes with a box.
Yeah, definitely. I have about, I would say about almost 50% of my shoes that had box are gone, and only about 10 to 15 of the stuff that doesn't have box have gone. I can see it easily because I have three sections, and one of the section is for no box, and the two sections are for with box, and
Yeah.
two sections it's half gone because so we just had to rearrange it. So um, I would be definitely leaning more to that because again, if we're thinking about it's going to be rocky within the next few months, I'm thinking about Q4 or something that's more valuable that has a giftable value in it, right? So I think that's where I'm going to be leaning towards, and again, sticking with new as far as safety for all the consumers that are afraid, for things when it's used.
And that's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know if that's the mindset or not that comes
Mhm.
with it. But maybe it is, but there has to be a particular reason, maybe why shoes with box are selling a lot more right
Mhm.
now because there's no doubt people are buying shoes. Like that hasn't stopped. People are buying shoes, sneakers, maybe soccer cleats a little decline,
Right.
but golf shoes selling good too. But the thing is, with or without box, that would also come into play once we see Ross Burlington open,
Right.
and then maybe more Marshalls, more Nike outlet, Adidas outlet with the box might be, leaning towards, sourcing from there more than these other places. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Let me see. Running shoes for sure. Definitely going through some old clothes and shoes to list. And I see RB sneakers, definitely a huge portion of my inbox inventory is gone.
Mm.
So definitely interesting on that. Here's my other thing. You talked about going to stores and seeing maybe mixing it up on inventory and what kind of things are going to be important to people.
Mhm.
And so if you go back to 2008, and one of the reasons why Ross and Burlington were able to grow during that time is because a lot of people, once that recession hit, lost their jobs. They were looking for deals. That's kind of like we started seeing the destruction of like malls, like
Right.
2008,
Mhm.
2009. People were like, I'm not paying full price for this kind of stuff anymore. They started going a lot more. Burlington and
I mean,
Ross.
TJ Maxx and Marshalls is a staple for every city. You know, if
Yeah,
you talk
definitely.
to middle, upper middle class, even to lower upper class, I've seen so many nice cars driving to the stores. So I think it's become a staple. So yeah, I think it's there's gonna be more of that. I think they're gonna grow more after this.
And that's the thing though, if people are looking online and they're trying to also get deals and things like that, do you believe that Ross Burlington Nike Outlet clothing now you'll see more of a rise? And will you try to pick up more clothing, or are you still kind of like, you know what, I'll stick more to the sneaker stuff, or
Um,
maybe I'll try to mix it up?
I think I'm gonna have to weigh it, considering the fact that I did drastically change my approach with clothing. Perfect example are the polo golf shirts, right? I think those are the ones that get thrown in the clearance uh, more. I did have about 100 of them that in general I've paid under $5 for, because they go for 9.99 extra 30. Some I've picked up for 7.49 extra 30. So those are the only times that I've picked them up. Well, as soon as I marked them down to like $20, $18 to $20, they all flew. They all started flying. When in my mind I was trying to get $30 for them shipped, a little adjustment was $18 plus shipping. It flew. At that point, I was easily doubling my money. So now we talk about percentage. Now, at one point, I hated clothes so much that I didn't want to listen. Me and my wife didn't listen. But now I changed my expectations. Like, yo, I'm trying to get three times my money, right? And then now maybe double it would fly, right? So I did that. So definitely, I think a good mix will be good. Uh, um, I would say I would try to keep it under 20%, and also still have my priorities on shoes. If there's none on shoes, you gotta have that second option for readjusting and here and there. Um, I did find good success in clothing, and that was surprising for me. Brand new with tags, mostly Nike. Uh, you know, 50% off of the retail value. I think they move fairly quick.
Smooth Sailing says my plan is to sell shoes, get rid of them, and reinvest in shoes with an upstream resale value. Very nice on that one. Home goods equals attractive nurses or attract nurses. Caroline, why did I just realize he's not wearing glasses?
Yeah,
So,
because the glare is messing up with the video.
and which leads me also to the last one, at least in this little section. So, if people, for the ones that are scared to go out to buy stuff, let's say not source,
Hmm.
just buy things on a regular basis for their family, for themselves, you're saying maybe they're a little half and half right now.
Hmm.
Like, I think some people will go, some people obviously won't. Now, for the ones that won't, they are depending more than ever on online sales. So if you are the one going out there and finding stuff, then I do believe that kind of uprise more than anything will happen if people are really depending on, straight shipped items from you. So it's it is going to be interesting on how many people the sourcers take that risk and what they want to do. Let me
Yep.
see. Nike outlets would be what would even price their polos wearing shorts clothing at $5, easily dropping $500 on just clothing. They did have some pretty decent deals on the last couple of days. I know
Right.
they did run an extra 30% off, which they hadn't done for most of the year last year. They
Exactly.
went away from clearance clothing sales, finally brought it back when we were
They were
like
about
our
to shut
final
down.
days before the virus really
2 days
hit.
before they shut down, they
Yeah,
switched it.
it's like, come on, man. So we got 30% off clearance clothing, plus the in-app coupons. So things added up. Those great deals on clothing things. I really do hope though that Nike keeps that up. And I hated when they went away from the clothing because those great deals. Like, yeah,
Right.
you would see stuff for like $4.97,
Right.
extra 30, extra 10 with the coupon, like
Yeah.
super cheap.
And I do believe I'm still leaning on towards that because they still have a lot of maybe winter clothes or winter collection or stuff that they still have to get rid of. And you have to think they've lost a month of trying to sell that away. So we all know that when the back room gets full, they're marking things down quicker than usual. So that being said, I, assuming that the back room's full now, shipment's gonna start coming in. They're trying to move stuff because I've picked up jackets for $20, and I've picked up a bunch of them. Just went deep on them because they were just almost pretty much giving them away because they had to clear out that for the summer release. So I guess we're skipping spring now, right? So everybody's jumping onto summer. So we'll see.
I would just hate for summer to come and go because of being in quarantine. Next thing you know, we're back in fall and winter. And they're like, hey guys, now it's going to hit hard. Now you got to get ready for flu and corona again. It's like,
I
dude,
I mean, being where we're at, especially here, it's still cold here. I think it will definitely feel like summer's going to be really short.
wait, what is it over there right now?
It
Ohio.
it was 60 degrees right now.
Oh,
So
man.
it's still chilly. Sun's out, but when you're out, when the wind hits you, it's still chilly. So so that's why I'm not enjoying the sun yet because the wind's still cold.
Let me go back to where was I on this thing? Now I completely forgot where I am. Oh, yeah, let me go back to the inventory, which we didn't really talk much on that one. That was number 4. So inventory wise and being in the resellers, let's say going into Nike outlet, I doubt it they would do this, but maybe being a little, well, I think some of the outlet managers, I mean, they can obviously do this, but if they really want to get some sales going, maybe going away from like 10 per style a little bit, maybe like 12 per style,
That guy's just dreaming.
15 per
I well,
style.
no limit. Um,
Which let's say they keep it at 10 per style, and there's a wait, there's a line to get inside the store because they can only have so many customers.
right.
Now, if you're one of those first resellers, which we're gonna probably be, on top of those things and telling people, you're gonna have to be one of those first ones to get in. Imagine letting your competition get in before you and you're stuck in that line. While not only is that, your competition gonna be just chilling and
Take
searching
your
up
time.
everything. Yeah, taking their time. They're going to be putting out, their side piles. It's also going to take forever for them to take off all the sensors and check them out.
Yeah.
Imagine leaving your competition on in that line. You know what? Whoever you're going into the store with, just be like, hey, just stay in here. Don't go anywhere. I just want to make sure that guy is just staying out there, like not
Right.
getting.
Well, yeah, yeah. As soon as I find a deal, I'm gonna find 3 people to just put their arms out and social distancing. while
Yeah.
I'm in the middle trying to get everything. That's what's gonna happen. You can't go near me, right? You know how it does, right? You're trying to grab shoes here. Somebody's be up top. You're trying to pull stuff up there. I'm like, bro, and then you tattletale on them and they get kicked out.
Well, the thing is, I think bringing a crew would be more than ever now
Right.
because you can get 10 per style per person. Like, I get 10, the wife gets 10. But the other time we brought her cousin, he got 10. So we ended up getting 30 pairs.
Hmm.
And that was it. That all I had left. But now bringing a full crew, and let's say your full crew are the only ones in the store, that's gonna be huge. I want to see what the chat says on that one, but I think that's gonna be wild because, like what RB Stinker says, I would have the worst anxiety watching that. I mean,
Oh, I would
you
cry.
go, yeah, you
I
don't
would,
want to be waiting in line
yeah, I would rather leave at that point.
and just go to another store
Yeah,
or
yeah, because I wouldn't. I can't bear to see it. I mean, I even beat myself up when I miss something myself.
yeah.
Imagine if somebody's trying to take it from you and it's your fault.
It's your
5 minutes too late.
that one thing. Let me see. It's time to get. Oh, it's time to start getting managers on the payroll.
Or maybe it's time to start rocking Nike employee stuff and just work for Nike now.
Yeah, you just get like your little lanyard, the
Yeah,
Nike shirt. Oh, sorry guys, I'm late for my shift.
wear shorts. They just start knocking.
Yeah, just let me in a little bit. Glenn gets more than 10 pairs anyway. Even if you're inside with them, you still have to stand 6 feet apart,
Yep.
hugging those deals while they look up things. That's also going to be weird. Max like 30 people. That's we don't know what their max would be, but you're also considering how many employees they already have inside the store. Those employees plus whatever shoppers are coming in. What would that look like? So, and here's the thing though, if you do want to get in early, will you semi camp out? Like, I know it's not going to be ridiculous. They're going to be there a day before, but would you consider getting there 3 hours before, two
Oh,
hours before?
no.
Okay, what if the limit for getting into the store is like 10 customers?
Oh, then I'm gonna bring a tent and a blanket and some pillows.
Then you might have to be there.
Yeah,
Man, that would really change things. Dedicated resellers will be there early.
yeah, this is gonna get ugly because this is when people start paying people to stand in line, right? Um, but I'm no stranger to that. I've camped for 6 hours for for the Safari Air Max One way back. So, but that would suck though.
Put some ghost chairs the night before. Let's see. Patrick says now only when friends and family. I think that's going back to our pricing and deals. Friends and family MVP. Kind of curious on how Nike is going to proceed with those. I doubt it they would do any type of friends and family with this thing going on, considering how they know the mayhem. But they also need to make sales, and with them with them missing a crucial friends and family throughout the year, they're definitely going to see those, the hit in sales from those weekends. Let's see. That's another one. We don't know. Let me go. In Texas, we are above 90 degrees. Yeah, it was pretty hot today. Let me go back up. All right. Any questions? Any random thoughts that maybe we didn't talk about for our 5 changes and or strategies once this thing gets up and running, which could happen sooner than later, maybe May 1st, maybe even May 15th, 17th. That's 2 weeks away.
Right.
And preparing for that. So we talked about timing. We talked about pricing, maybe trying to entice people in Nike Outlet, maybe 30% off, maybe those type of deals. Safety, will we see, I don't know, wider clothes racks for you to walk through? We talked about inventory and seeing like what inventory are on old YouTube videos, what kind of inventory has gone up in price since it's just been sitting there at the stores. And the last one was the quality of products and your shift in business plan, with box. Is that better than without box right now? Are people buying more of the, brand new clothes and taking that risk with clothes compared to shoes. And also the same thing, thinking about more people buying things online. For the ones that are still going to be a little scared to go out, they're going to depend on you going out and sourcing things.
Yep.
All right, let me see. So the chat does have some questions. I wonder how the managers are going to treat resellers now.
Oh, I wish. Yeah, they're probably gonna start feeding us, bringing snacks in store or something. Uh,
B saying he's going to be treated like royalty now.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
B,
Yeah,
I'm
they're
so
gonna
glad
say good
you're here.
morning. Yeah, they're gonna say good morning. They're gonna say I miss you. You know, they're gonna start asking about you, your life, your family. You know, they're gonna start caring more.
It's funny because our manager, the last day, he was like, "So what are you buying?" And I bought like an Air Max, that Air Max 2 Lite. I bought some other Jordan 1 lows, a couple of things. He's like, "Why are you buying this stuff?" Like, he's like, "Dude, we're gonna open in like 2 weeks." And I'm like, "I don't know if you're gonna open in 2 weeks." He's like, "You guys are overreacting." He's telling me and the other bulk buyers that we're overreacting buying stuff. He's like, "Don't worry about it. 2 weeks max, and we'll see you then." Haven't seen the dude in over a month. Obviously, we don't know what's gonna happen. And I was like, yeah, I don't trust that, but kind of curious though how they're gonna be when we get back. And this one says, let's see, business as usual from Ask Scott. Are any stores open yet? No, not that I know of. I know some thrift stores are open. Jake did go to some of those. Plato's Closet was open. One Plato's Closet was open in his area, so he went to that. Speaking of Jake, Flippin' Rick says, "Where's Jake?" And I don't know. Maybe he's sourcing right now. Maybe he is going to some of the
Yeah, I
thrifts.
mean he's still working remote, so he probably has money.
True. He is working remote. Richard asked, "What about returns?" That's also one we didn't really talk about right
Oh,
now.
imagine that. It's a good point. People be bringing in returns.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm gonna be
returns are gonna
waiting
be
for
wild.
the next wall.
Returns are gonna be wild. I want to see what people are gonna bring into Nike. We get that extra back wall discount. What kind of returns they will be bringing in for Ross Burlington? I think people are only going to be returning things they just could not sell.
Yeah,
Period.
like
I don't.
Dookie's gonna come back. You're gonna see Dookie pop back up.
Yeah, I don't see them returning any of the goods
Yeah,
coming to those
yeah, because
stores.
they sold already. The good stuff sold already.
Yeah, that one. That's a good thing, Richard. Though that's a good question on the returns. Let me see. Wall to wall people at Nike, Black Friday flashback, Caroline getting nightmares already, thinking about that kind of stuff. Is Texas or Ohio doing soft opening this week? Well, according to the thing, Texas might be opening up a little bit sooner. What do they say? 25%. So maybe next week we'll see more.
Did they say which industries though? Like retailers? No.
No, nothing yet.
Broad
So
outlets, huh?
yeah, so let's see on that one.
Yeah,
When B walks in, they're clapping.
they 12 for the retailer.
Yeah, May 12th, I think for Ohio. Let me see. My daughter loves your hat. There we go. B,
I
the Nike hat.
wonder where I got this from, but it's definitely from Nike outlet. But it's been a while. I've had this hat for a while, but I'll keep an eye out.
Let me see. My Ross worth waiting to get into. Every time I go, they have heat. So kicks with Soul. He's ready. GameStop open for pickup? Question mark. People really got Futura Pops at Target. Also look at some of the gaming systems. I'm pretty sure GameStop is already seeing, ever since they did that, a big increase in that kind of stuff and people buying the games. Let me see. The Volunteers of America stores are open in Columbus, Ohio. Just read that on email. I didn't even know. So from Mary. So interesting. And interesting to see the other stores that are going to open up. Have y'all got any new plans going to other cities, Dallas and more? So Out Hustle kind of got thrown out of the window once we got this news. We still want to go somewhere. Now we don't know when. We had dates in particular when, and a lot of it was during summertime. I have no clue now, and I wish we did.
Yeah. Well, considering the fact that even our state is still, you're still not allowed to have over 10 people gathering.
Yeah.
So, so that's gonna be hard. I mean, for this year, I mean, to make it easy, we're probably gonna go, but it's not gonna be anything grand. It's more probably for Korean barbecue trip, but
Chilling.
but yeah, more like chilling. But I mean, yeah, everything changed. Everything changed for sure.
Let's see. Deborah Mento says, "Can we all be Nintendo Switch plugs?" And now, exactly. I think that's part of the GameStop and everybody buying up the systems. Extra grands that Jake is sourcing with the belt he won from last night, his heavyweight title that
Celebrating.
that he he went celebrating. Richard Hustlebee is gonna have that OnlyFans page if everything doesn't hurry up and open.
I already have one. I'm just like giving them out. Only select few.
Only select a few. I've been stocking up on Kyrie fly traps. That's all Academy had to offer, but they aren't selling. So kicks for the soul. So that one might have to wait it out, and see what kind of happens, what kind of offers you have coming in. Armand says, "Hello guys, catching this live late. Thanks for joining in." Flipping Rick, anyone trying to dig sporting goods for sourcing?
I haven't. I haven't.
I've been checking online and also trying to see if maybe there's some deals that people didn't really look for in store that maybe you
Right.
could pick up. Because I know they are doing the, you can come up and pick up whatever, but I didn't see anything that was worth picking up. So Stevie D says Dick's Sporting Goods mad overpriced. Let's see, DFW sad no sneaker cons. I did see the Ohio one. Where were they going? They got canceled.
If I'm not mistaken, maybe it was Cleveland.
It was Cleveland.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
it's
one got
bad. And it's
canceled,
bad
and then
there. Yeah,
the
it's a bad.
Phoenix one got canceled. So
Yeah. I think major events are canceled for the rest of the year. Just for that thing. Because if you have major events, then you're gonna have more people traveling across state line, and I think that's gonna make things worse.
that is true. You have a lot more people
Yeah. From
driving
New
and
York,
flying. Yeah,
a lot more people from New York coming to events.
yeah. So that's a good point. Let's see. RB Sneakers, Dick's Sporting Goods canceled my order after like 5 days. Yeah, I think they're also kind of bombarded that they don't really know how to
Yeah,
maybe kind of handle some certain things. So they're
no,
probably
no, it's a mess.
yeah. Let's see. Flipping Rick, I need a haircut, bro. I need a haircut too. I think you know what? Let me just like try to like puff it up and try to like
Just grow fro.
yeah, maybe I can try to like. I just don't want like the mullet part to start coming out in the back or something. I don't know. We'll see. Let me see. Dick's Sporting Goods. You need to get in the store because that's where all the clearance is. Clearance before they close the store. You can't get that stuff online. So there we go. Extra grands. And let's see, Stevie D, wife works in the midfield, just got word she tested positive. House on quarantine now. You never know it. She had no symptoms. Stevie D, I don't like to hear that.
Wow, that's crazy, CBD. Praying for you guys.
Yeah, stay safe and that's and keep us posted. I want to see, especially with kids and being married. We talk about that too. You even said yourself, like going out and only getting certain things, if that. But you're trying to stay safe. You're being with your wife, so I don't
Yeah,
know when things do open. How's it gonna work?
yeah,
Let's see. I have a meetup plan at the end of May. Probably the best to postpone at this point. Didn't want to go too early for Mary.
yeah.
Let's see. Oh, so she's at a different level in the house than us, TBD. So yeah, stay safe. Make sure the kids are safe. Let me
Wow.
see. Especially for our nurses working ICU, Mr. Eric. So many employees came back positive with COVID, Mr. Eric. And hope everything goes well for Stevie D from Flippin' Rick.
Right.
All right, man. So we kind of went. This one went pretty quick. This
Right.
show we went over an hour, pretty quick. Anything else you just want to throw out there? Anything else you want to say? And yeah, before we go, anything you want to say?
I think I think we just gotta be more mindful of the things that we can control, and we just have to focus more on um like you said, like we talk about, like defense mode, aka just be more resourceful and just be more proactive in doing things. I saw a post that something that could help your mood or your attitude during this time is to limit mm, uh your listening time or airtime with media. Just because I think it we're definitely can easily get affected with what we listen to and what we see. So me and my wife are actually, watching movies that are uplifting. Uh, One great recommendation is watching the movie Way Back. It's a pretty good movie. I mean, if you like basketball, it's a pretty good movie. It just came out. So I think those are the things. Help yourself. Be be a lot more logical when you're making decisions financially, uh, and also help help yourself mentally, and think about uplifting things, and uh, reading. Just develop yourself, because those are the things that we can control right now. And again, uh, maybe my last thought would be, just, as they would say, count your blessings. Think about the things that you have to enjoy. We have roof over our heads, we're in our house and everything like that. And I think those are the things that we have to focus more on, uh, especially coming into this kind of like new season or new time that we're getting into, as far as the changes that are coming up.
Let's see, smooth sailing. Anybody hit on the fear of God triple black? I hit on size 14, so congrats on that one, smooth
Uh,
sailing. Stevie D says it's bound to happen. Never know she has it, so hopefully, it kind of just passes through. Which we've seen it hit people differently,
yeah.
so it's like we don't really know.
Mhm.
Um, Mary says yes, totally agree. Watch very little news, very demotivating, and we know what we have to do at this point. So I agree on that one. Koo Kicks watch Congestion and Outbreak. Me and the wife did watch Outbreak.
Outbreak
Uh,
was cool. Yeah.
gotta stay. Flippin' Rick says gotta stay out of Instagram and post that closet.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though. Speaking of Instagram, I don't know if you've seen it, or maybe less, more. I think I've seen less gurus than I usually do.
Yeah. 100%. I think that's a great observation. I think the gurus are busy.
Or are they? I don't see them. Usually they're telling me their courses by now or
Right,
guides or
right, right,
something,
right,
but
right, right.
I
Right.
don't know. I haven't seen them.
Yeah, yeah. The gurus are busy, trying to find means and ways to get the status up, or to keep the status up.
I was kind of thinking about it for a while. I was like, man, I haven't seen a lot of those.
Yeah, you can't buy a Ferrari during this time. You can't fly a private jet during this time. So, I think the gurus are kind of silent during these times.
Once we're back at 100%, then all of a sudden all the sports cards, like sports cards and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're,
cars,
wait-
and
they're waiting for their sports
cars.
cards to arrive.
Yeah,
I mean, even Gary V is silent. So,
yeah. I haven't seen much of them. All right, join my Discord. Seven figure seller, only $9.95 a month. DVD.
yep.
And so you see
99.95.
99.95.
Don't short sell him.
Season Ghost, not to be mean, but El Paso sucks at staying in,
Yeah.
and I live in EP. They do suck at staying in. And our cases have gone up, and I think that was the only one the Texas governor seemed to be worried about out of Texas was El Paso. Hopefully we can fix
El
that.
Paso. The place is this big, and this is only about this tiny.
That's rough. All right. Well, thanks for joining this quick hour. Kind of flew by. And we'll talk more on Wednesday for the live show as usual. And we'll also talk about the mini flood items that were there. And B will join us on Wednesday. And we'll go from there. Anything you want to talk about from this show, throw it into the live show on the chat for Wednesday. So we'll see you guys.
For sure.
Go out.
See you guys. Peace.